G'day! Today we're having a look at the release version of the Undead War. Now I did previously play a first look at this game months ago at a point when it was called Clash of the Undead, but it has definitely moved a fair bit since then. So I think with the release happening, let's take another look. So this is another auto battler, which is I think a relatively shallow genre of games. If you know of auto battlers out there, definitely let me know, because I love mage and monsters, and I'm not sure that there's been too many other games in the genre that have impressed me as much as that one has. I'm just focusing on one guy there, probably could have waited for them to consolidate a bit. So the way this is working is we have an army against us, an army for us, and we want to win. We lose, game's over. Our run's over. So, I have played this game a little bit in pre-release, so I've got to see a whole series of different iterations of the way this worked. And this is very new. This sort of path to victory, I guess it's called. But I don't see any logic in heading the more fights. So let's go down this way that we can get like a card choice. We will go soldier... Soldier, soldier, soldier. Soldier, soldier. What does that leave me for archers? 3 archers. That's one thing that is irking me a little bit. The second that you press start, the pause button's immediately under it. So there's definitely been a few times where I've paused the game after that. One neat little thing also I want to mention about this, just an interesting little story. I did play this. There were achievements in it, and it is an auto battler. And like I said, I was strapped for more auto battlers that I wanted to play. So I went, okay, let's play this one again. There's achievements. Let's give myself some goals and see if I can hunt them down. One thing that they added into the game was a skill tree, which we will look at in a little bit. So I think that we'll probably get 2 runs into this look. And one of the key things in the skill tree is the ability to spawn units, which I currently don't have, but I think is the difference between going very far in this game and sort of being extremely limited. So, there was a problem with the skill tree. I found it in February this year that I don't want any of them. I mean, I'll take one just so they stop offering them to me. But if I had the choice, I wouldn't take any of this. There's one spell I want, and otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't hunt them. Spell I want is Sudden Death. The spells may have evolved a little bit, but when I first played this, that was the big one for me. Yeah, in February I found an issue that with the skill tree, if you had more than one of the I'll think of the word. If you had more than one of the spawn units, none of the spawn units wouldn't appear for you at all. It was just a glitch in the game. And so I sent a message on Twitter to the guys just to let them know, oh, hey, I found this with the game. Enjoying it, that there's this issue that's making it a bit unplayable as long as this issue lasts. Didn't get a response from them at all. Didn't see any updates happen, and I thought, man, have they given up on the game? That's a shame. And so, like, a couple of months later, I thought, no, I really do want to let them know, because I am finding myself still going back and trying to play this game. So let's help them out if we can and make sure this is right. So I did have their email address, because originally when I got the game, they had sent me a key, and I'd sent them some other feedback of, I think in the first video you watched, there's a couple of spelling mistakes that I point out, so I made sure to let them know for those when after I made the video. And so I think in May I sent them a message saying, just let you know these issues exist, and I gave photos and I gave testing examples of I've tried it doing it this way, I've tried it that way, not having any luck. So eventually, a few months after that, I still saw that there were no updates. Nothing happened, and I thought, well, Alright, it must be a shame that they must have moved on to something else. Well. I guess I'll never get those achievements that I so desperately seem to need. But then I did finally get a response from them. The story behind what happened there is that the developers of this game are from Sudan, and they had to flee the country to Egypt to get away from the current war, non-stop warring that's going on in the Sudan, which I think is definitely the most understandable reason I think I've ever heard for why a game hasn't had an update come through. But the good news is that they are all safe, all the families are safe, they did get out, and we're okay. And I guess they are good to see they're back to work as well. So I do obviously wish them the best, and for that in mind as well, I was very glad to have a second look at this game as well. Because, like I said, compared to when it was Clash of the Undead War is a very much more, I think, rounded game. I think the original one that I played was sort of a bare bones idea of how it would look. Okay, so when it gets to these symbols that are a picture of like a boss, I don't quite get what the difference is between, say, this fight and anything else that I've previously done. Now I'm just going to try one different move here. I'm going to put that one guy all the way out front, and then we're going to put all our other guys back here, as I've been doing. Because what I want to try and do is see if I can get this army to consolidate onto this one guy. Like, they'll sort of collapse themselves in. I guess they got him too fast because there's a lot of archers in there. Having them collapse like that seems the way you really want to use spells. But this is okay, and look at how modest they are. They don't celebrate in the way that we do when we win. So, this is the upgrade tree. I've played one game of this prior to this filming, and I got myself a little bit of stamina and a little bit of speed because I was trying to get my summon enemy tier 1 units ability. So I've got that. Then what we want to do is we will increase our ranged, and so if we can get our summon tier 4 units, get that shield one, and then summon tier 6 units, I think these 3 abilities are really going to get us where we want to be. So with getting these guys, we hopefully are going to be a little bit better set. We can certainly save more money, but unlike the original version of this game, I think that like you find yourself just with a lot more money than, say, what we might have previously had. So now I reckon I can just start with, say, 2 guys. We can do that. I can just press 1, get my summon coming out, and you can see how fast these summons pop out. That, like, it's its own little army. That I can just sit here mashing that button. But you can just hear the clicking away. It's the only thing stopping me from doing it. That really, I think the best strategy for this, especially once you've got multiple summons, would be that you play this game without sound, so that you're not hearing yourself just constantly tapping that button. Because otherwise, it's definitely the way that I would approach this. Now, how many guys were up there? Can't see them anymore. Oh, there we go. See, I reckon I can almost do this without a troop. So what we'll do is we'll put one guy, we'll put him as far back as he can go. We'll say start battle. And then we'll just start our level 1 guys getting through. We can... And again, you can see that's where that sort of consolidation can come in using a single guy. Puts those guys all a lot worse off. More damage will definitely be a good thing with our approaches here. Got fewer, like, I suppose at some point they're going to need health too, because we don't want them dying overly easily. You can see with these guys, they've got 9 damage now, thanks to the upgrade, and they've got 60 health. These guys are 90 health and 11. They're not that much more expensive, so maybe we'll try a couple of them. Then the archers obviously give us the range, but take up a bit more space. So let's give ourselves 3 of these guys, and then we'll just complement them with our main guys. Because I do find that there's not a definitive level 1 troops are better than level 2 troops in this game. There are certainly some troops that you're spending a ton of points on that don't seem to really pay off in any way. That you were definitely better off just sticking with the lower level guys. Okay, so let's go a few more spearmen because they did seem to go pretty well. We'll go 5. Well, we've only got enough space to put 1 archer in. Having that moment of a summon coming in first and allowing them all to consolidate is certainly a helpful feature to that. Unit health. So you can see there that it'll only allow you to buy 1 upgrade each time you sort of visit the shop, and it still keep forgetting I don't have enough slots to just keep going all in there. Those spells. The spells you only can really... It's like, especially that death spell, you generally only get 1 use out of it, a fight. Unless we potentially get to much higher end fights. So, I mean, at this point, I don't really feel like there's any benefit to taking abilities that are going to give you lots of money, because it just seems like we have money. It's certainly not a problem that we're facing. So what we want is at least 2 of these guys up front to get them all to consolidate into. Probably a waste to not use the death one first, because that's where we're like, anyone hit with the death one is going to instantly be killed. So there's no point in like softening them up before that happens. Now, I've got the one that I want, so there's no point in getting any of the other ones. I don't think. Normally, I would go for unlocking more tiers, but I do think that, like... Not that I want to die, but I don't think that there's anything of value here until we maybe get the fire archers or the mages. So, I mean, I suppose it's a little bit away, but you can see that with our spearmen, say, we've already got our spearmen up to 25. These guys are up to 23. Like, they could definitely do with more health. We are starting to really get some hardy damage from them. The only problem is we just don't have that many of them. Okay, so we want to use our death spell first. These guys definitely look much more intimidating. The archers are all sort of grouping up, so let's take them out. We're not looking great here, but again, that's okay. You can see, I think you can see what we did wrong on that one. I say we, because that was as much your fault as it was mine. Let's try someone different. Let's go for the orcs. And let's see if we can, oh, we've got a different world to play in too. And I mean, unless there's an attack speed difference, I don't quite see why it wouldn't otherwise be worth... Oh, they're worth 2 for this guy. Well, that would explain why they're possibly not worth as much in this case. Now, you'll notice here that I don't have my second tier of spawn units that I've got. I don't get them immediately. I think they were level 4 tiers. So I believe that means that I'll see them when I get to level 4. let's bring out the light warriors this time. Definitely has a bigger area of effect than what the humans had. Well, we've already got more slots than we had in our previous run, so that's a good thing. I don't think we have to get too fancy here. These guys have a pretty decent attack speed. These base warriors. I can't find those question mark cards. Seem to be pretty dud. Like there's no, I don't think there's any major benefit to getting them because, I've already got that spell, didn't I? That's what I picked up before. Okay, so we now got Club Warriors that cost us 4 squares. I think that we're still just going to stick with our basic mates. Now I ended up with that spell because you don't get to... It's only when you go to the shop, I guess, can you choose which one you've got equipped. Well, I'll feel that one. I don't know what this symbol means, so let's have a go of this one. It doesn't seem like there's a boss or anything over there. We'll keep working on our tiers this time. We'll try and push through that. Although I feel like these guys are worth so many squares that it makes it sort of hard to justify them. Let's give, say, these guys a go on this one. See how they run. I think if this game had, like... it'd be interesting to see what sort of scale you could, say, take this game up to. Like, what if these were fights of 2,000 guys? And what if when they fought, like, they ran at each other? I think it could be some really cool, like, animation to something like that. So this could be a real stalemate here while we try and kill these guys off. One archer versus the continuous run of guys walking at him. And the original version of this game that I played, it also had the archers were overpowered, and I think that, like, for your side, as soon as you got, like, say 10 archers, you were unbeatable. They knocked back. They really made things tough for the opposition. Okay. So this is the battle that seems to be continuing to sink us. Just then, I don't feel like those guys really had too much of an impact. And they take up 4 spots. I feel like 35 of these guys is going to be a harder thing to beat than a quarter of the amount of any other type. Well, the size of those 2 spells, this actually seems like it could be a pretty good 1-2 punch. So we might have to stick with these two for a little while. Let's go for some more health. The health doesn't seem like it's as significant a jump as the damage does. Like, if they're going from 7 damage, and that's 9, that's a huge jump. Whereas the health is only 2 on what's only 50 anyway. So real hard to say with that one. Alright, let's try and get these guys to converge. Holding. Holding. It's close, but we're gonna still need some help here. But you can see summoning units sort of means that you've got a continuous flow of a new guy. Hopefully we see our next spawn unit soon. I'm not sure if it's like sort of I have to, like, say I've got 8 battles won. Do I need to get to so I don't think that the shop's worth visiting, so let's just go for 2 battles in a row. Alright. We're up to 50 slots. So let's what are we up against? Does it tell me how many armies I'm fighting? No. You just sort of eyeball it and go, okay. Let's build 50 guys there. Hope that they sort of start to converge on that front guy. You can see them all like angling down, so we do get a nice grouping. So we're taking the lead here. 52 plays 34. And I think this is possibly where just upping the damage is going to help. Because it's just, if I've got so many guys that they can't focus on all of them to kill them, and each of them are doing more and more damage, then maybe that's where we're going to get the edge. So let's play that strategy here. Let's go 50 light warriors, and I really want to put them as far back as I'm allowed to. Because we want them to sort of try and converge on this front guy as much as we can. And there's my level 2 guy too. So you can see 1 and 2 are now down here, down the bottom. Which as well should do a great job of converging these guys. Just knocking out a healthy amount. That, well, now we've got the upper hand. Go to health. Go to health. I mean, I should really try and up the amount of slots I've got here. I'm getting those sets of, say, 15 or so. Like, seems like that'd have a nice big impact on the total numbers. Especially once we get archers in here again. It'll become a little bit trickier. But we will try and keep an eye on. I already lose. Wow, that happened fast. Alright. That's enough that I've got my archers too. I mean, I didn't really survive long enough to utilize them. Reduce damage received by enemies by 5%. Make units attack faster. I think that's going to be helpful. Moving faster doesn't necessarily seem like it's as beneficial. So let's go like that. And we'll go one last one as the elves. How much? Their archers are cheap. These guys are cheap too, and they have way more health than those guys. They're 4. They're 7. Start the battle with 2. Lovely fields for these guys to fight on. jump straight up into the numbers. I do wonder as well, so each time I do a battle, it's just the same battle that was next in line. So, for example, this is fight 2. And no matter where I encounter fight 2, this will be fight 2. So, the idea that I'm slowly getting to fight seems better too, that the fight doesn't get harder if I've left it longer to get to it. So really what I'm better off doing probably would be skipping fights, because every other stop along the way would be a, I guess an upgrade. Like, my guys would be better than what they otherwise would be fighting that exact same fight. So for example, if I went down this way, I would already be on fight 3 there, whereas I can sort of skip this way and be on fight 3 there. There. I mean, there's a lot of shops down here. Good thing is that you can just click on the spell and just hold it in place while still doing your summoning. Like, it doesn't cancel the summon each time. I do like that. I mean, I can just say it's back and not buy anything, so I don't think I need it. Alright, we'll let these guys converge. Three health seems like a good get. I normally can't do upgrades of 3, so it seems like a good point to try and go health. But let's go just archers here. Let's play this strategy. And everyone in front is the guys that I'm summoning. Damage. And really I should be trying to put my archers as far back as I possibly can, I suppose, to get as many guys as possible in front of them. We'll also see how the archers go for, like, impact here. So I don't feel like they're anywhere near as dominant as they once were. Possibly in these sort of numbers they are, but we'll keep playing with it. We may as well be trying different strategies. And I also think that if I'm really focusing down that path of do more damage, then potentially the archers are the ones that will benefit the most if they're getting more and more damage and they're just sitting so far back. This is definitely a sitting duck. How much these guys group together. This is where we're going to have our problem here, that the archers have been reached. I do love how silent it suddenly becomes when you leave. Well, there we go. So that's a quick look at the 1.0 release of that one. If you want to have a look at the difference between where that's come from and where it's up to, yeah, go check out my video of Clash of the Undead. I would say that when I played Clash of the Undead, I wasn't overly sold, even though it was a type of game I really want to see more of. But the difference between where it was and where it is now does actually, and knowing that they've, say, had a few months where they haven't been able to do anything with it, I genuinely looking forward to where this game's going to get to. So any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.